So you also talked about AI agents a lot, and a lot of people do not know the difference between AI agents and AI tools. So how important do you think are AI agents for marketeers, and what's actually the difference between both?
Well, I think we used to explain an AI assistant or an AI chatbot as um, employing an intern. Employing an intern that you brief well with all of your company information and your business information and ask them to do a task. Some task that you repeatedly had to do. With agents, they go to the next level. It's like building agents, and the way we're building agents now. You could have the head of a department, we'll say, or your social media manager, or you could have your content creation manager. And the way I like to look at it, and the way I'm building up my business, is that I will have a team of agents that I will manage. So the human always manages them, but they have their team of AI agents that will be able to carry out a series of tasks. And it's so that whole area has advanced kind of pretty rapidly in the last 4 weeks, and I do believe that it's going to be exponential. So the gap of like that by the end of this year, like the whole reasoning, their ability to reason and carry out tasks independently, is remarkable.
Today we have Roisin with us, who is the CEO of Marketing Mentors. And we have a very, very interesting topic to talk about. That is, what does an AI-powered marketing strategy look like this year in 2026? So all over to you, Roisin. What do you think? What is an AI-powered marketing strategy, and how is it different from traditional strategies that we have?
Well, to start with, an AI powered strategy isn't about just creating content and creating emails because we have AI to do it. It really is about building a system and building a new operating system, using AI for the market research, social listening to your customer, and using all the data that you have within your organization, whether you're a small operator or a very large organization. You have a lot of customer data in there. And if you so you're going to use AI to build a system around that, not just about creating content, so that you, as a marketer, you concentrate more on strategy and on the creative side. I think this is what AI is actually. It's some people fear it because it thinks it's going to take our jobs. I personally think that AI allows us as marketers to be better marketers because it takes the day-to-day admin work out of it, and so the repetitive, boring work that we have to do. Now AI can take that, and we can focus in on our customer retention, and our strategy and creative. That's my
That's
view.
amazing. That's an amazing answer. So a lot of people, they think that after AI, a marketing degree is no longer needed, and that an AI and marketing is all about using AI tools, and anyone can actually become a marketeer. So do you also think that, or you think that this is a misconception?
Yes, I do. I do. I think you still the foundations and the of marketing, and what marketing is all about, is still the same. We now just have better tools to implement it, really. But like I do see, and I know, I suppose it is an issue that businesses with small marketing teams are now trying to do more themselves with AI, or they're jumping into tactics. It was the same with social media. They're jumping into tactics because they can do it. They can create nice images. We can create websites quite easily now. It's no code, but they miss the fundamentals. They miss the building the proper foundation, and that's where the marketers come in. They understand the that building the proper foundations, like your deep market research, understanding who your customer is, and AI is so fantastic for that, for really digging deep into finding who your ideal customer is, and for social listening, for the creative side. I think the real marketers will understand and know how to implement the proper foundations. And I think that is I value AI most for putting the proper foundations in place. Using AI, but to do that.
So just continuing your answer, just like you talked about how to use AI, and to marketeers, they know the difference between using AI too much as well and using AI just for strategy. So a lot of people nowadays are using AI a lot, and actually you can see it in their marketing, that you can see it in their social media. So what do you have to say about that? How can we actually use AI wisely that does not look completely AI generated, but just helps us for our strategy?
Yeah, I mean it is a big deal because now we can all create content, but as it's called, AI slop when it's
Yeah.
just generic. No, no. If it has if we're just creating that's the point. If we're just creating content, it is a sea of other content. It is no. So what's going to make the difference is that when it's aligned to your strategy, that it is speaking your customer's language. It's content that helps is helpful to your client. That it's directly your content should be directly aligned to your strategy and plan and to your customer. But just creating content for the sake of content, it doesn't serve any purpose.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn a lot. LinkedIn is my kind of preferred platform because I deal in B2B. And yeah, of course, we see a mass of new content and AI commenting, which is really not, it
Yeah.
doesn't really serve any purpose. It actually, I think it's a disfavor to the person you're commenting on because LinkedIn now, I think they don't favor AI commenting, so it could actually damage your brand and your presence on LinkedIn. But I would say that, so yeah, so it is creating, I suppose, content that is I suppose to it being aligned to your strategy and your plan and to your customers' needs. That you're speaking to your customer, that first of all, you understand who your customer really is, that you know them better, you know them inside out and what their needs are. And if you're answering that question, then I think video and we have to be a bit more. We can all now create fantastic carousels quite easily. So I used to spend a lot of time creating carousels over the last year or so. They performed very well on LinkedIn. But now it's a case of, well, everybody can do them. They're beginning to look a little bit the same. So I think, get those creative juices flowing to see how you stand out. But really always aligning it to your customer and what is value for them. Because what you do find is on LinkedIn, it isn't the business brand, it's or the company brand, it's the personal brand. So it's building a personal brand is kind of more important than ever because people are looking for genuine, they're looking for real and authentic, and they want so that you stand out apart from all of the AI masses of content that are coming.
That's an amazing answer. Just like you talked about personal brand and LinkedIn B2B marketing as well. So do you think that now there's a lot more pressure on social media managers and marketers now after the age of AI, because now people are now reading every single line and they want to make sure that it's not AI, and people want more human and authentic content. So do you think there's more pressure on us marketers because of that?
No, I think I wouldn't say pressure. It means that you're not. I mean, everybody is using AI now for
Yeah.
their content for either for some part of the process, whether it be brainstorming, and that's the smart way to use it. Like I posted today about perplexity, for instance, another tool I use quite a lot for market research. And now they have this perplexity council where they gather from a number of large learning models like the they have Opus 4.6, they have all of the big models in there. And you could treat it like a council, get the feedback, do your research, do your brainstorming. But if it doesn't, you need a person then, you need a human
Yeah.
that actually collates that and makes sense of it and um, uh, puts their mark on it and their I suppose their experience and expertise to it. Otherwise, yeah, if it does, I mean, if you're reading it and you kind of see straight away that it's AI, you kind of think, well, because I can search ChatGPT for that myself. I don't need
Yeah.
I think what the only way that you really can stand out is you're giving personal experience and your real experiences, and I think like real case studies. Yeah, so I think you have to put more and more of a personal input into it. But yes, certainly use it for the research, for the brainstorming, but don't just produce it and then send it. There's a process to it, and there needs to be some vetting in between. But it's also how you're using the AI tools.
Yeah.
You can't set them up so that they're trained to you're training AI on how you speak, on your brand, on your process with custom instructions, so that generally what comes out is kind of nearly 90% there,
Yeah.
but it's with your input. I don't think that people have a problem with that, or LinkedIn doesn't have a problem using AI content. It's
Yeah.
just if it's just generated without any thought put into it, or any thought process or human intervention, it's probably going to just not be read.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. So a lot of new marketeers are out there and they are actually confused about what AI tools to use because I think that AI has actually changed a lot from the last 5 years. Now every other person is actually creating an AI tool, a SaaS tool. So because of this, AI
Yes.
becomes very overwhelming for us marketeers. So what is your advice for all the new marketeers which are now starting to use AI? Where should they actually start off from?
Yes, that's what I get asked most. Which is the best tool?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
continue.
It is overwhelming for people because there are so many tools. But what I would advise businesses is that your stack, it doesn't need. It's a small tight stack that should reflect your operating system, not just curiosity.
Yeah.
So I use a simple filter, like does it connect to your CRM? Improving a bottleneck within your business? Will your team use it daily? Are you going to use it every day? Like, is it something? Is it just nice to have, or are you actually going to use it? And it should be it should your workflows should work through it. So you don't need a big stack. You need a smaller, but that you're actually going to use, and that are aligned to your operating system. And I'd also say that that in the last 3 or 4 weeks, things have changed again,
Yeah.
because the large learning models like Claude have huge capability, and really it's the year of agents, and agents being able to do um, uh, a lot more than, would say, previously what chatbots could do. So we're going into 2026, and it's really about building systems, intelligent agents that will do work for you.
So what are your favorite tools and what tools you actually use for marketing specifically?
Well, I'm a big fan. I have been from day one, a Perplexity fan. I was on a training, and I was made a fellow of Perplexity, and they actually given me max enterprise access for the year, which is amazing. But it is at the maths level. For research, I think it's hard to beat. But I have to date, I have worked a lot used ChatGPT a lot, and custom GPTs, and creating custom teammates. But just recently, I've moved over to Claude. I'm using Claude more and more, and because of Claude's skills, because of its capability, right across the whole marketing spectrum. It's a very exciting one, but it is probably the best system right now for marketing. And then and Gemini. I mean, if you're a Google user, and you're a Google Workspace user, Gemini is powerful for research. It is, and so that is an operating system in itself now with all of the features that they have. So it's, like I'd say, don't get confused. If I was a Google workspace user, if I was a small operator, the Google Work Suite can do everything that you're going to need. The same with Claude. Claude Code, which just kind of released Claude Code had been in play for a while, but they've just through Claude Cowork made it
Yeah.
available to everybody. Um, I think it's deceiving calling it code because people think, oh, I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer, but it's not. It's for everybody, and it's really, I think, probably the most, as I said, the most powerful. So I'm really diving deep into Claude Cowork, Claude Code, Claude Agents that have just released, all of this last few weeks. So it's probably what I'm using most at the moment. Yeah.
Claude is also my favorite as well. So you also talked about AI agents a lot, and a lot of people do not know the difference between AI agents and AI tools. So how important do you think are AI agents for marketeers, and what's actually the difference between both?
Well, I think we used to explain an AI assistant or an AI chatbot as um, employing an intern, employing an intern that you brief well with all of your company information and your business information and ask them to do a task. Some task that you repeatedly had to do. With agents, they go to the next level. It's like building agents, and the way we're building agents now. You could have the head of a department. We'll say, or your social media manager. Or you could have your content creation manager. And the way I like to look at it and the way I'm building up my business is that I will have a team of agents that I will manage. So the human always manages them, but they have their team of AI agents that will be able to carry out a series of tasks. And it's so that whole area has advanced kind of pretty rapidly in the last four weeks. And I do believe that it's going to be exponential. So the gap of like that by the end of this year, like the whole reasoning, their ability to reason and carry out tasks independently, is remarkable. Um, the This orchestration of agents and agents working together, I don't think we're there that yet. But individual agents are certainly working very well, but managed by a human. And you build in your guardrails and your security in there, and there's always a human in the loop.
Yeah.
So but that's why I like to think of AI as your co-worker, they're your teammate, but it's the human that's managing and directing and steering and building the strategy. But you do have your team, you have your human and your AI team working for you. That's
That's
the way that's
amazing.
the way it's going this year.
Yeah. So just like you mentioned that, one person can actually have a team of AI agents. So do you think that in the future, marketing will now become a one person strategy only?
No, I don't think so. I think there will be leaner marketing teams for sure. It's kind of inevitable. Or maybe the role will change. So maybe it's less about maybe a social media manager. It may be, a
Yeah.
systems manager, and that are outcome focused, and that they will orchestrate this team. But it would, I think it's critical that um, marketers, understand the system and how they would manage it. You could argue that the teams that we build, that with the agents that I build, or any young marketer building agents, they take that with them. They take that expertise with them.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to think about it as well. That it's so you're building an org with all of your information, your methodology. It's built into that agent. So um, so it's an interesting area. It's evolving, but I do think it would, maybe the roles will change. We still need humans in the loop, and that human input. Um, but yeah, we can work with leaner teams now. I mainly work with smaller businesses and startups, tech startups. And the way I look at it is that these small businesses didn't have marketing capability before, because they were juggling everything. And this is where I love to work with businesses like that, because now you have the opportunity to have a marketing department, that can work
Yeah.
with you, because it's not replacing the way I look at and the way when I'm talking to Mike, I'm saying now you can do marketing the way and compete with the big guys, because prior to this, you didn't really have the resources or probably the money. You're at an early stage in business. Now you can have a team, so you can build your team. So that's the positive way of looking at it. So it's not replacing. It's actually it's new to businesses that
Yeah.
they can now have a proper marketing department. I mean, I generally work with businesses that are, maybe to 50 people. And often they might have a one-man marketing person that tries to juggle everything. So with AI now, they can build their team around them and do marketing better, because they
Yeah, that
probably weren't doing marketing prior to this.
That's amazing. So we talked a lot about, marketing from the perspective of, the brands and also from the people like us. So what do you actually think about AI and marketing from the perspective of customers? Do customers also use AI to discover brands now, or are customers using that same human way?
Yeah, I mean, this is critical. This is such everything is changing because our customers are changing the way they find that data, the way they find information. So this is why we have to, as marketers, we have to change and be agile, because our customers is consuming information differently. I mean, it is it's kind of reversal. It's a total different way to the way we would probably have worked before, because with AI search, and that's increasing, how people are finding, they're now getting an answer to their question, an exact answer, rather than the Google blue lines of choice. And so how we advertise, how we get in front of our customer is changed, and it is about good quality content,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and how you actually make it easy for the AI to find you and understand what you do. So I think we all have to look at, how we communicate, because the reality of it is, it's not only going to be humans looking for it. We will have agents
Yeah.
seeking the information as well. And that is the reality. People don't like to hear that, but we will have agents checking with other agents, and and so you have to make it easy for the AI to find you, to understand you. And there are ways of doing that. It is a lot about creating, being in the right place, but also creating very good quality content. It's relevant to your customer, and becoming kind of an expert or authority in that area. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. But it's it's changing so quickly. But so it's instead of SEO, which is like how we would all have set up our websites, what were the keywords to find. Now it's they're looking for answers. They're looking for they're looking for intent. They're looking for AI can find a lot more information. So it does, that will impact on how we write our websites. If we have websites, or are we going to have an agent? Will we have an agent for our company that is out there communicating with other
Yeah.
agents? So it is changing dramatically, but yeah, we, as marketers, that is something that we have to be very cognizant of. Customers are finding information differently now. They're finding it on AI search, and there's a different way of being found.
That's an amazing answer. So this brings us at the end of the podcast, Roisin, and thank you so much for being here. At the end, would you like to give any short advice to all the marketers right now who are actually overwhelmed with AI?
Yeah, it's easy to be overwhelmed. I'd say I see it as a great opportunity to do marketing right. I would I look at it more like building a system, than wasting time with individual tools. The other point I'd like to make, when I speak to customers, we are working differently now as marketers. So when we help a business build a system, they have that system. It doesn't it, it that that where they have all of their intelligence and all of their data, and they're building out a system that they can implement. Like, I find that with small businesses, it's like you don't have to have my service on an ongoing basis. I can come and help along the way. But once we build out this system for you with your agents and your and a system that's working for you, um they have it. They have it set up, and it's going to operate as a system for them on their own, and they're going to be capable of doing it. So I think that's kind of exciting, because it's from the customer's point of view, it's a better offering, really.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing advice. And thank you so much, Roisin, for being here. It was wonderful having you, and I
Very
hope you
much.
enjoyed as well.
I did.
Okay, thank you.